With Apple TV Plus launching their new Fraggle Rock reboot, Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock, we thought it'd be a good time to show you some really neat vintage, rare, and even new Fraggle Rock items. So while Apple TV Plus is currently the home to Fraggle Rock and the new Fraggle Rock reboot, the original home to Fraggle Rock was HBO. So we have an original Fraggle Rock HBO promotional cup given out to HBO subscribers that says, "I'm a Fraggle Rocker." It's yellow and white with two circles that feature the Fraggle cast, "I'm a Fraggle Rocker," and the HBO logo. Copyright 1982 Henson Associates. Of course, music was a big part of the success of the show, and here we have an original cassette version of the soundtrack, still brand new and factory sealed. The cassette contains the exact same track listings as its more common record counterpart, and was released in 1983 by Muppet Music. Of course, while you were listening to the soundtrack, you could also be playing with many Fraggle Rock toys. Here we have an original Doozer Pvc figure put out by Hasbro in 1985. The package design features artwork by Daryl Cagle. The top features the main Fraggle 5 playing instruments, with Doozers and other creatures of Fraggle Rock on the bottom. The Hasbro PVCs were all released this way with a different character inside each bubble, while the back shows all the characters available in the line, which of course was the main Fraggle 5 along with 3 Doozers. 1 sitting, 1 walking, and 1 directing traffic. German company Schleck also put out a line of Fraggle Rock PVC figures featuring the same molds. They also released additional characters like the Gorgs. Since this release, Junior Gorg has been released a few times in plush, but these are the only toys ever released of Ma and Pa. Here you can see Ma in her dress holding a handkerchief, while the PVC of Pa features him in his traditional outfit of a robe, which kind of reminds me of a window curtain, belt, and what else would the King of the Universe be wearing but his crown? While Junior is wearing his traditional shirt and boots. But there weren't just PVC figures. Tomy put out a line of plush as well. Here you can see Gobo, Moki, and a Doozer in their packaging. There was also a ton of Fraggle Rock books released. There was even a Fraggle Rock book club that you could join where they sent you a new book every week. These same titles were then widely released in retail as well, both in paperback and in hardcover. There were also different sizes of Fraggle Rock books, from large paperback and hardcover versions, as well as cardboard books for younger children, or chapter books for older kids like this one featuring the story of Marooned in Fraggle Rock, which has to be one of the most traumatic episodes of a children's series I have ever seen. If you're unfamiliar, the episode features Red and Boober getting trapped in a cave-in and thinking they're going to die. It's a pretty heavy episode. Luckily though, this book is pretty light. Of course, they didn't just make storybooks, they also made activity books as well. And this is the Fraggle Rock Activity Book featuring all kinds of coloring and activities you can do within the world of Fraggle Rock. There's a Doozer Maze, postcards from Uncle Traveling Matt, a Doozerific Connect the Dots, a couple different Fraggle stories, as well as pictures and information about each character. Because Fraggle Rock was an international series, they also released many other Fraggle Rock items internationally, including a hardback version of the activity book. While the US paperback release was released by Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston, the UK hardcover was released by Crayon Dreams, with only slight minor differences inside. Here you can see the opening few pages of the US release featuring Gobo and the logo, and then the copyright page and the welcome to the opening of Fraggle Rock, while the UK hardcover opens to reveal an image of Gobo and the Doozers, then the copyright page featuring Gobo without the logo, and then the page welcoming you to the opening of Fraggle Rock. The UK also had different sized Fraggle Rock books than the US as well. Here we have Fraggle Rock in the Case of the Missing Socks put out by Carnival Books. As you can see, while it's the same height as many of the smaller US books, it's about half the width. Width.
Yes.
What is she doing here? That's not even the right joke. That's not even Fraggle Rock. In 1984, Spanish company Fernier released this pack of Fraggle Rock playing cards. The card game features images of many of the regular Fraggle Rock characters, including Doozers, Gorgs, and of course Fraggles. But what's nice is they also include characters such as Marjorie the Trash Heap and Doc. In Germany, the series was dubbed Die Fraggles, which is really odd to see because who would want to kill the Fraggles? I mean, other than a Gorg. And I know they used that joke in Muppets Most Wanted, but it's still odd to see. So here we have a plastic Die Fraggles cup featuring Red playing maracas. Here you can see an international postcard from the Festival International de Terres de Bilboa, where I guess they showed episodes of Fraggle Rock, or possibly had a Jim Henson exhibit featuring the Fraggles. Back in the 80s, puffy stickers were all the rage, and Diamond toy makers put out a whole line of Fraggle Rock puffy stickers. Here you can see Style 3 featuring Junior Gorg, Uncle Traveling Matt, and Sprocket, as well as a few other small puffy Fraggles as well. If you look closely, you can even see how small Gobo is compared to Junior Gorg's rake. If you wanted to have a Fraggle Rock themed birthday party, Hallmark had you covered with this Fraggle Rock themed centerpiece. The centerpiece features Gobo and the Doozers in paper that you could fold to create a scene. This was released in 1983, and I like how it says instructions included. I would hope so, because this thing is pretty thick and has a lot of pieces. After the original series' success, the Henson Company decided to make a Saturday morning animated spin-off. This time the show wasn't on HBO, but broadcast on NBC, introducing the characters to a much wider audience as they were no longer confined to a pay cable channel. To introduce the animated series, the Henson Company put out this press kit featuring information and images from the show. Here you can see the inside of the folder where the flaps feature Sprocket and a very scared Gobo, while on the back is a very forward-focused Uncle Traveling Matt. Inside we have stationery featuring characters from the animated series, as well as an 8x10 glossy photo of Jim Henson with the characters. And now for something even rarer is an original Fraggle Rock address label featuring the addresses of both the New York and Canadian production offices. And on the bottom, you could check which office your package was coming from. After initially only appearing in compilation videos on CED, Laserdisc, Beta, and VHS, full episodes of the series were finally released in the late 80s. Initially only in a subscription format where you got one episode per tape at a time. Here we see the HBO video VHS of the episode Born to Wander. In 1993, episodes of Fraggle Rock were again released to VHS, and this time there were 2 episodes per tape. And to introduce this series of videos, of course, there was a press kit. The back of the flap says, "Discover a secret world, bursting with colorful musical Muppets inside." Remember, this is when they could still say Fraggle Rock with the Muppets, which is how all those tapes were marketed. Inside is a bunch of information about the release. The first page reads, "Dear journalist, today that's me. Dance your cares away. Worries for another day. Let the music play down in Fraggle Rock. The launch of Jim Henson Video last January finally enabled families access to a broad selection of classic Muppet entertainment for home viewing. This summer, Muppet fans will delight in yet another gem from Jim Henson Productions' library, the musically charged Fraggle Rock. 4 fun-filled volumes debuted July 30th at a collectible $12.99 suggested retail price each. Fraggle Rock features engaging Muppet characters who inhabit a secret world just beyond everyday reality. Viewers will enjoy rich storytelling, a vast range of musical styles, and the discovery of a colorful new world filled with hidden passageways, caverns, streams, and grottos. To further experience the Fraggle Kingdom, Jim Henson Video is offering consumers 2 free exclusive Fraggle Rock children's books with purchase of the video cassettes. The 32-page hardback books are beautifully illustrated in full color. They are an excellent companion to the videos, encouraging kids to discover their favorite characters through reading as well. Please review the enclosed comprehensive press kit to discover more about Fraggle Rock and the book offer details. The series creators, Michael Frith and Jerry Jewell, are available on a limited basis for interviews. Please feel free to call us if you would like to explore further editorial opportunities. To request review cassettes, please call our screener hotline, and there's a phone number which I'm not going to read. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Marcel Abram and Kristen Holman, Public Relations. The press kit goes on to talk about the book offer, a sweepstakes, a full synopsis of the series, a synopsis of each volume's episodes, character bios, and a full list of credits, as well as an 8x10 glossy of the characters. Since then, the entire series has been released on DVD, Blu-ray, and now streaming, including the animated series, which was released for the first time on DVD by Lionsgate in 2010. It's since been released again by Sony on DVD and is also included on the Blu-ray set. And speaking of the animated series, it even got its own lunchbox put out by Thermos in 1987. The front features the main Fraggle 5 having fun, while a Doozer works. As you can see, right above Wimbley, there's a small blue creature. I'm not sure who or what that is, but he's also hanging out with a Doozer on the Thermos inside. And speaking of drinkware, in 2013, iCup produced this Fraggle Rock insulated can holder, otherwise known as a beer koozie, because who is using this for soda? I mean, come on, it is a Fraggle Rock beer koozie, let's be honest. It features Gobo on one side and Wimbley on the other. Because who wouldn't use a Fraggle Rock beer koozie to keep their beer cold? Eh? As part of Fraggle Rock's 30th anniversary, the Henson Company teamed up with The Spare Room to produce this limited edition Fraggle Rock playing card set. The box has a really nice design, including really nice and subtle Fraggle Rock touches. It even includes the solemn oath of the Fraggles.
Weeba, weeba, waffa, waffa, garpost, gumbig, whoopee!
The sides are really interesting too. One side has the Fraggle Rock logo, the other side says made under the USA, while the back has some really neat and shiny radishes. Like any playing card set, each card featured a different character along with its suit. Around the time of the 25th anniversary, Sababa Toys had the Fraggle Rock license, and they put out a line of both plush and PVC figurines, including this PVC figure of the Doozer Architect. This is one of the only figures of the Architect produced. Typically, the Doozer figures are just random Doozers, and of course, maybe some Cotter Pin as well. Sadly, his mustache is a little more gray than the actual Architect in the show, and for some reason, wearing a helmet instead of his traditional visor. But it is supposed to be the Architect, and there's a picture of him right there to prove it. Even though this is what the Architect looked like on the show. Here we have probably one of the best known Doozers of them all, Cotter Pin Doozer. This Cotter Pin plush was put out by Manhattan Toy in 2010 as part of their larger Fraggle Rock plush and puppet line. And it's one of the few pieces of Cotter Pin merchandise out there as well. And it even has a little antenna sticking up. Sorry, this plush is just really well done, and the likeness is spot on. Starting around 2016, Zen Monkey Studios put out a whole line of typographic Fraggle Rock t-shirts. Each shirt featured the name of the character, as well as different words and phrases associated with them. Here we see a Gobo t-shirt featuring the words songs, radishes, pick up letters from Uncle Matt, wowee, play, share, dream. The sides of his jacket say, go ask the trash heap, dance your cares away, and worries for another day. The words in his tail say tail, while across his chest it says Jim Henson fun. This line was really well done, and you could spend hours looking at all the words, phrases, and Easter eggs hidden within each image. As part of Fraggle Rock's 35th anniversary, Super Impulse had a whole line of plush and PVC figures planned. Unfortunately, the PVC figures did not get made, but they did manage to put out 2 plush, a Gobo and a red, as well as 2 plush clips featuring Gobo and red as well. An interesting thing about this line is the hair contained sparkles and glitter, which the Fraggles have never done before or since, but hey, why not? One of the most snubbed characters merchandise-wise in all of Fraggle Rock has to be, by far, Moki Fraggle. So while going through items for this video, I was happy to discover that Moki was featured in her own book, Moki's New Colors, put out in 1988 by Muppet Press, and this version is actually from Australia. Moki Fraggle is quite the artist, and she's working on her masterpiece. Join Moki as she teaches us that the world is full of color. Each page features Moki with one other character and their corresponding color, culminating with Moki in a room full of purple items. Another character we don't see a whole lot of merch of is Sprocket. And here we have one of the first pieces of Sprocket merch made. This Sprocket plush was released in the UK by Pedigree in 1984. It features Sprocket with his tongue out, a collar, a tail that could wag when you pet him. With this Sprocket plush, if you pet him too hard, he gets a little excited. All right, calm down. This Sprocket plush is in mint condition and even has its tag, though sadly it's fallen off over the years. Most Fraggle fans, though, are very familiar with Tommy's original line of Fraggle Rock plush. And no, you're not seeing double. Here we have 2 red Fraggle plush from the line. You might be asking, why am I showing 2 red Fraggle plush? They're both the same. Well, here's the thing. They're actually not. There are slight differences between these 2 plush. If you look closely at their tags, they are slightly different. One says, Jim Henson's Muppets present Fraggle Rock, and when you open it up, there's a short bio. As you can see, this tag is attached to her leg, while on this red plush, the tag is attached to her hand. This is a Canadian version of the plush, and the tag is both in English and in French. The inside tag is slightly different too. While it includes the same verbiage, it's shrunken down to include both the English and French translations. And the copyrights change from Tommy's Canadian offices to their US ones. Another difference between the US and Canadian releases was their hang tags. The US version has the hang tag right above their eyes, while the Canadian release has a fabric hang tag sewn to the back of the head. Now that you've seen some old plush, here's some new ones. This is the brand new set of plush from Toy Factory. These are usually only available in claw machines, so they're a little hard to get. And you have not just the main Fraggles, Gobo, Moki, Wimply, Boober, and Red, but Junior Gorg as well. As you can see, he's not quite in scale with the Fraggles, but still, pretty cool to have. Maybe this is from the episode where he gets shrunk down, which kind of makes it even cooler. While the likenesses in this plush line aren't quite as good as past plush representations of the characters, I gotta give Toy Factory credit for doing a little something different with this Junior Gorg plush. I really like the way it's flat and not like the other characters. So maybe this is a version of Junior Gorg from the animated series, which I don't think has ever been done before. And here we have a few more really rare Fraggle items to show you. Here we have a Fraggle Rock drum put out by Noble and Cooley in 1984. The front features a bunch of Doozers, while the sides feature the Fraggles, Sprocket, and the Gorgs. Here's a Funko Pop vinyl figure of Wimbley, signed by Steve Whitmire, put out by Funko in 2017 to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Fraggle Rock. Here you can see a Toys R Us exclusive Sprocket signed by Steve Whitmire and the Uncle Traveling Matt Specialty Series signed by Uncle Traveling Matt's designer and puppet builder Tim Clark. The great folks at Funko were also kind enough to send me the exclusive flocked Fraggle Rock box set, which was an exclusive release of only 3,000 produced. While you may be familiar with McDonald's Fraggle Rock Happy Meals from the mid-'80s,
kids get one of 4 Fraggle Rock toys when their parents buy them a McDonald's Happy Meal featuring Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock. There's Red Fraggle in a radish, Gobo in a carrot, Moki in an eggplant, or Boober and Wembley in a pickle.
You may not be as familiar with this set of Doozers that is also part of the line. That's because this and one other Doozer vehicle were only released as a test in West Virginia to see how they would sell. The set features 2 generic Doozers and Cotter Pin riding a forklift. Apparently, the folks at McDonald's didn't think the Doozer vehicles were a big enough draw and were never widely released. Speaking of rare and hard to find is this Fraggle Rock hat. While it doesn't quite look like a Fraggle Rock hat, this is a cast and crew hat for the Ben Folds 5 music video Do It Anyway featuring the Fraggles. The front of the hemp hat features an illustration of Ben Folds' glasses but with Fraggle hair, while the back features the Nerdist logo who produced the video. Along with the show's soundtracks, they also put out a single for the song All Around the World. The front features Uncle Traveling Matt and a bunch of postcards, while the back features a postcard Uncle Traveling Matt sent. It reads, "Dear Nephew Gobo, today I heard the most amazing thing. A flat plastic wheel that plays music. Strange, it sounds like me. Love, your Uncle Traveling Matt." And it's addressed to Gobo Fraggle at the Lighthouse, which is where the UK version of Doc lived. This copy is extra special to me as Dave Goles signed it as Uncle Traveling Matt. Here we have another very rare item. This is a Fraggle Rock postcard sent out by the Jim Henson Company to celebrate the new year. Happy New Year from Jim Henson and all of us in Fraggle Rock. Here's to a growing relationship. And it features Moki, Red, and Boober decorating a Doozer construction tree with radishes. And it even came with a pack of radish seeds as well. Okay, we have one more item to show you, and it's one of the newest Fraggle Rock releases. It is the Fraggle Rock Ultimate Visual History Coffee Table Book. It features all kinds of information about the making of the show, the characters, the animated series, spin-offs, even minor characters get a shout out, as well as a section on merchandise and information about merchandise that sadly didn't get produced. Even a sneak peek at the new series, Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock. This is available now from Inside Editions, and I highly recommend picking it up. And that's just a small sample of the Fraggle Rock items put out over the years. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. If only I had a Fraggle Rock wallet dedicated to just Fraggle Rock merch. Like this one, put out by Imagine Innings in 1984. The wallet features Gobo with a postcard from Uncle Traveling Matt, and as you can see, it's still brand new and factory sealed. Well, that's going to do it for this look at Fraggle Rock items. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Please be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite item from this video was. Please be sure to watch Fraggle Rock and Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock, available on Apple TV+. And we'll see you next time from the MuppetStuff Museum.
Down at Fraggle Rock.